Should I go shut it off?
Yeah, you should. For sure, dude. I'm excited. I'm excited we're doing this, and I know I'm putting a lot of like trust into you, and I think if like someone can, you know, do this and have it be fair, it's you. And I want to be like as truthful as possible, obviously, and like just be super real and kind of just like clear things off my chest that I haven't said before. And I know like a lot of people were saying like, yo, like Shane, why are you doing this? Like, don't give him a platform and so on and so forth. And so like, I know you're gonna get criticism for this, and I'm like, nailed it. I mean, I don't even think I have to warn you, but people hate me, like literally they hate me, and I don't, if like this is gonna hurt you, then like I don't want to do it. I don't want to have to be like, I told you so, like I told you people would be pissed, but yeah, it's like if there's anything we can do to avoid you getting hurt, we should do it, and we should just be as honest as possible about everything, and yeah, man, I trust you. I trust you.
Okay. Well, now that we heard that, I guess I should break down what happened and what's going on. So, about maybe 2 months ago, I tweeted.
The ups and downs of Jake Paul's life and persona is something I would love to see from the inside.
That would be really interesting. I want to know, like, what's his life like? What is Team 10? Is his house even real? Is it a set?
We should get this address tattooed on us.
Is his relationship real? Like, is the drama all fake? What is that? Because I literally don't know anything, right? Like, I'm 30. So I basically reached out to him and I was like, hey, if we do a series together, I want to really be honest about it and investigate you and the situation. Before I even meet him, I want to go down the rabbit hole. I want to talk to people who know him.
You know, think he's a horrible piece of shit.
Who have had falling outs with him. Are you okay, Dawson?
Yeah. He's just... I don't know how to explain that, man.
I want to talk to a psychologist and see like if he is a sociopath, because that word was like all over my timeline, and ironically enough, I was going to do a series about sociopaths before this even happened. So I kind of feel like the universe was like, here you go. So I want you guys to know I'm aware. I'm aware that this might be a bad idea. I feel like the reason he's saying yes to this might just be because he knows it's gonna get views, right? So could he be doing this series with me just to get views? Could he be doing this series with me because he actually wants to change and wants to be honest and talk about everything he's done?
Guys, I apologize.
Or is he a sociopath? And I'm literally like walking into the lion's den.
Let's get a closer look.
I don't know.
I have merch. Fanswear.co/Jake Paul.
What would even happen? What does that even mean if he was one? What would that even be for you? Like, what would that mean for you?
From what I've read about sociopaths, it's somebody who doesn't have a sense of morality. They don't know what good or bad is. They don't know when to stop. They enjoy manipulating people and fucking with people and hurting people. They think they're better than everybody, and everybody is just a pawn in their chess game. It's really dark.
I don't know much about that, but that sounds pretty, like, heavy.
It's insane. And the fall of Jake Paul and the darkness of his world is something that I am fascinated by. And that's why I want to do this. All right. Let's investigate Jake Paul!
Oh my god, what are we doing?
I've been wanting to do some type of video about the idea that YouTubers have to have some kind of personality disorder or something, right, to do what we do. Putting ourselves on camera all the time, being so open on camera all the time.
That's what sucks most about it.
Having conventions with our name in it. Like, there has to be something. And I want to know, like, the psychology of a YouTuber. Hi! Oh my god. I love your videos.
Thank you, honestly.
Okay, so this is perfect because your channel is about talking about drama, controversies, news, kind of just like going through situations and events very like thoroughly.
The video is just complete and utter trash, and Jake just continues to keep on getting lower and lower and lower.
Yep.
So I asked you to help me with this Jake Paul thing because I don't know anything.
And there's so much to keep up with as well.
Okay, Team 10. So I know the name because it's funny and it's like a meme.
This is Team 10, bitch! Who the hell are flipping you?
But like, what is it? Is it his friends? Is it not?
In 2016, he bought a house for $17,000 a month, or rented it. And that was where he started Team 10. And I'm not sure if they were friends. Is it all fake? Is it real? Are people paying to be there? It's so strange.
Paying to be there? Like, paying for a spot in Team 10.
A lot of people have said people are just there to basically get popularity. People are there to make money. People are there to go into other things, modeling, acting.
Tessa Brooks here.
I got Jake Paul here.
She is a dancer. Are you a professional dancer?
Yeah.
It's something which is really not discussed that much, and it would make sense. It really would.
You don't just get to do videos with Amanda Cerny, King Badge, flex with Drake on Instagram, just randomly.
Team 10, you can't be a freshman anymore. You got it great.
You heard it here first. I shouldn't be a freshman anymore. You gotta pay for that.
Well, I remember hearing, and I might be wrong, but I remember hearing that Jake's ex-girlfriend, Alyssa, Jake was like, I'm gonna help you be a model. Let's be in a relationship. Your modeling career will do better because you're in Team 10. And then his new girlfriend, I think, is a model. So it's like, was she just like an out-of-work model?
I wanted to be a model. I wanted to be an actress. I wanted to be in that like realm of everyone in Hollywood.
And now there's this new girl, what's her name? That girl? Sunny Malouf. She's like in Team 10 now. She's a singer, she has a music video. But like that, I'm like, what?
Isn't it weird how none of them were originally YouTubers? They're all from different sectors. So they're either actors or they're models. And you get this in Hollywood a lot. You get fake relationships. People who are together to have a brand.
Let me tell you about views. People love couples. Erica made a YouTube channel in one day, gets 200,000 subscribers.
Jake, thank you so much. Like, I couldn't do this without you.
It would make Alyssa Violet, for example, with Jake Paul. If all the things were as bad as Alyssa said about Team 10 when she got fired for supposedly cheating, then why did she not break up with him before? Why did she not leave if it was so ongoing? Same with the Martinez twins. If Jake Paul was apparently bullying them, why did they not leave before? They have a platform, they have popularity. Maybe it wouldn't have been as big as Team 10. And that goes into the conspiracy of maybe they're paying to be there.
Okay.
And that's where the first controversy sort of began, because he kicked out his girlfriend and accused her of cheating.
He told everyone that I cheated, so he didn't look like a dick that he kicked me out. I don't know.
And obviously, she ended up dating FaZe Banks. He seemed to never leave Alyssa Violet alone after accusing her of cheating and kicking him out.
And you know I kick them out if they ain't with the crew. Yeah, I'm talking about you.
Alyssa Violet originally exposed Jake Paul of taking 20% of everyone's earnings, which was massive.
I would do anything for him. That's why I signed a contract for 20% of my life for 5 years.
Everyone didn't know that. There was also rules about strictness and bullying going on inside the Team 10 house.
If you're not up by 10 a.m. filming, then like you get fined $50. No alcohol at the house. Every single guest that you had over had to be approved by Jake.
At the time, everyone thought that it was all a nice, happy family, and that's how it kind of seemed in the vlogs. But Alyssa Violet came out and said, no, this is not what's going on. If anything, people don't like Jake in Team 10.
Her getting kicked out, I do remember like a video or something of her in a house and she was upset and she said Jake kicked me out and all her stuff was in like trash bags or something.
Jake's kicking me out
He didn't want to wait for me to get my apartment, which I'm getting in a couple days, so he threw all my stuff downstairs and put a lock on the door.
I thought that was fake. I didn't really look into it. Was that real?
It was real. He's clearly got a harsh side to him. But it leads on to he never got over it, and he eventually accused FaZe Banks of assaulting his assistant. And they released a video of where the assistant appeared to have a bruise mark on the neck.
Meg was assaulted by a man.
He like put his arm out and like went like this. And I looked up at him and I realized immediately that it was Banks. I didn't really know whether or not it was him at first because he has a girlfriend and he was making out with this other girl.
This like video isn't meant to like retaliate or target anyone.
Then it ended up all to be fake.
For this to have happened and nobody other than people on Team 10 said it happened, that should just tell you.
I think I've heard Jake say like, oh, I didn't know it was fake. But a lot of people think, oh no, he orchestrated this.
And Jake even came out and said, about a month later, he handled the whole situation badly.
We should be handling these situations in person and not talking over social media.
And this is where his fans began to fall out of love with him. He started losing thousands of subscribers, and at that point, that had never happened on his channel.
But I do also remember like Jake Paul was on a podcast and he was about to hit 10 million subscribers. And I think that's right when people found out the controversy was fake.
How do you have that level of certainty where you're like, I'm gonna put this in a video and fucking expose this guy?
So like,
and then he started losing them. Did you see that?
Yeah.
Because you're going back under now.
Oh no.
You're going back under. They'll take it back.
And like the numbers started going down while he's live on the podcast. And he's like, wait, why are they going down?
All right, I'm gonna remove this.
No, don't go back.
It was crazy.
First YouTuber ever hit 10 million twice.
So you think that's the moment that made him from cringy to like hated?
Also, eventually after that, it came out that Jake was bullying members of Team 10.
Yeah, I wouldn't know.
Did any of them come out and talk about it?
Yeah.
The Martinez twins said they left Team 10 because they're being bullied and harassed every day.
See, this is kind of something which is really weird, because why would these people come up, quit Team 10 and say he bullied us when he was in there, he took 20% of our revenue? Why, if they were so upset about that, why would they stay in a team for so long? Why would they stay in there for 6 months, a year? What if I was going through that, if I had a friend that was bullying me in a YouTuber group, I'd leave. Why would I not?
Because
I got my platform. Yeah, actually, a lot more people began to leave 10 over Jake's actions. Recently, Nick Crumpton left Team 10.
So, you.
Everything began just to kind of slip away from Jake. When you look at Everyday Bro, most of the members in that video aren't members of Team 10 anymore.
Interesting. He kind of lost his friend group.
It was like a self-implosion. But since then, he kind of went out of the radar until the KSI, the Deji Commentary Sports Gamer fight.
What the fuck are you wearing? Are those Walmarts?
And he's looking for the big punch to end this. No one expected that here.
Do you think the Suicide Force video, even though it wasn't his, the way that went down and the press and like the fact that everybody was mad at Logan, the worst thing I think that's ever happened on YouTube, do you think that made Jake be like, oh my god, like it's no controversy's worth, like the press isn't worth it, oh my god, I need to not do anything controversial, oh my god. Like I wonder what his reaction to the Suicide Force video was.
With the Forest thing, it does seem that Logan has gotten away with it in essence, and I feel like they've seen that, and I think they know right now if they've survived that, they can survive anything.
Going into my interview with him, I want to make sure I hit every point because I don't want people to feel like, you know, he manipulated me or we missed something. What do you think is like the main thing people are going to want him to respond to or talk about and like not bullshit about? Like, what do you think a successful interview would be?
Is it all fake? Is his personality not what it is in real life? Because it's something I've wondered.
I'm just living in the real world, and you're living in a fake one.
A lot of people are exaggerated personalities on YouTube, and I want to know how exaggerated it is with Jake. Because for all we know, he could be a completely different person. I've seen it with Rice Gum. Is Jake Paul on YouTube different to Jake Paul in real life? And that's really what I personally want to know. And I think a lot of other people want to know that. Because there has been a lot of controversy, but the real controversy to me is he who he says he is?
And that's the sociopath question, because if he is genuinely a sociopath, like a lot of people think, then Jake Paul is a character and it's a mask, and like the real person none of us have seen.
So I was watching a few of his older videos for the first time earlier, and he seemed so different. And this is why the question of is he a sociopath, I really am not sure, because in it he seemed to be caring, not just about himself, but about, it was weird things he was caring about towards his car. He spoke about his truck in it. He was talking about, just in general, a lot of things he cared about. He seemed nice, he seemed genuinely happy, and to have real emotions. When I watched that, I thought, this is a real person.
Is there anybody I should interview first, like from his past? That would be good.
Honestly, I think Nick Crompton would be perfect, because he's known Jake from start to finish. He knows he left because he didn't like it the way it was going. So maybe there were things we don't know about. There definitely is things we don't know about, but big things. He knows all about the controversy. There's so much there. He was in Team 10 for the whole time. He was the manager. He was in charge of the business. So he'll know all about contracts. He'll know if they're paying, because it's something which no one's spoken about. No one's asked these people. And I think Nick would be the perfect guy to ask.
And he's literally the only one who I know and whose number I have. Oh my god. Okay, I guess I'll reach out to Nick Crompton.
Yeah, she was so scared. She was even like, are you mad at me? Don't be mad at me. You're alive.
Oh. Sociopaths.
Yes.
Because I feel like, do you spot them?
You can feel them. I don't know if you can really spot them.
I hated that. What are the characteristics, I guess?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to it. A lot of it is just the main thing that people talk about is like they have no empathy. And I think that's a hard thing for people to actually fully understand, because most of us don't have this issue. So we feel for other people.
Yeah.
And we feel all day. I feel pissed off. I feel excited. I feel disappointed, whatever. They don't have any of that. Like, imagine if you lived in a world in your brain where anything that happened to other people, you didn't really care about it at all. You didn't care how they felt. You didn't care what happened to them, as long as it didn't affect you.
What is it?
Technically speaking, a lot of like clinicians like myself would call it antisocial personality disorder.
So what are like the bullet points, for example, like in a book, what would it say?
Sociopaths believe that like the law doesn't apply to them and like the rules don't apply to them. They're like above it, and they're so important to everybody else that like they'll get away with it, like nobody will care. So they always just think they're better, bigger, more important than everybody else. Like, for instance, failure to conform to social norms with respect to lawful behavior. So then deceitfulness, indicated by repeating lying, using aliases, conning others. So using anything they can to get their needs met. The main two things that they usually want is power and money. Then they also are impulsive. So failure to plan ahead. They'll want to do things and then not do things on a whim.
So they don't have emotions. Do they pretend to have emotions?
Yes, because they'll mimic to fit in to get what they want. Because that would be like mimicking behavior. We have to think of like, because that would make it feel, it elicit the response maybe he's wanting.
Suicide is not the answer. Literally, guys, what I preach every day is being a maverick. Like, it's okay to be different. It's okay to be unique. In fact, I encourage you to do that. If you're not a part of the Low Gang, make sure to subscribe.
Again, not saying he's necessarily a sociopath, but like, that would be what sad music. I mean, we all know even on YouTube, and it'll say like sad. It like kind of tells you what the music is. You pick it according to that. Irritability and aggressiveness is indicated by repeated physical fights or assaults. Next is reckless disregard for the safety of self or others. So they don't really care what happens to them, because again, like, remember, they don't have any empathy. They don't have any feeling. They don't have feelings like we do. And we have consistent irresponsibility. They don't know what it's like to be responsible because they don't care about how that affects other people. This is the final one. But this last one is lack of remorse. So like, let's say they're being reckless and people get hurt, they don't give any shits about it. In truth, it'd be someone who is really popular, someone who always knows the right thing to say for some reason, no matter the situation. They're always really witty. They're actually super intelligent, usually, because to manipulate takes a lot of intelligence. Imagine all the like detecting we have to do, and you know, searching for all those little bits about people that we can use to manipulate them. They probably have a lot of different relationships in their past. Like, they tend to bounce from friends to friends because as soon as people start to see a chink, if they're not very good at manipulating, they'll move on to another group. Whatever they think helps them fit in. Think about anything in life, owning a home, having a dog, getting married, having kids, whatever it may be. They're gonna put up the best show that they can.
YouTubers.
Mm-hmm.
Jake Paul.
It's possible. I mean, I don't know him. That's the thing, is like people put on shows to be on YouTube. Like, you know what I mean? Personas.
Yeah.
But going back to the symptoms and signs that we just read through, like not caring if people get hurt. He's done things to people, like terrorizing members of his like team, right? Yeah. Like the lack of emotion in his eyes and stuff is kind of creepy. But I'd have to, I don't know, is he? I mean, is he remorseful? Does he just pretend he's remorseful? We see like videos where he says he is, but is he? I don't know.
First of all, I'm so sorry to the Martinez twins.
I know he's definitely impulsive, but he's also like a younger guy, you know? But I'd have to get to know him better because like we think there's empathy, but is it a show? Is it manipulation? I'd like to hear what other people in his life have to say because they know him better.
Right. Yeah.
It's definitely possible. You have to get a fuller picture of like how he is when the camera's not on and how like what his past girlfriends have to say. Because people who aren't in his life will have a lot better things to say than people who are, because people are technically being manipulated right now, if that's the case.
I'm never gonna be as cool as him.
I do actually want to apologize because there was some backlash and people feeling offended and feeling like I was making a horror movie out of an illness or disorder. And I 100% understand. I think I got carried away with the whole like, ooh, I can make this scary. And I love editing scary stuff and I didn't completely think it through and like to treat a person like a scary monster is like not cool and I shouldn't have done that. So I apologize for that, genuinely. Are we gonna fucking do an interview with Logan? Ooh.
What even is that conversation?
Iconic?
I'm never gonna be as cool as him.
Listen, all I saw was, you know, breaking the law, telling an animal to kill themselves,
Jump in the pool,
telling your friends to beat each other up,
come on,
laughing at a security guard.
Am I hurting anyone? Yes.
Saying you're gonna catch a girl with a net.
Damn it.
Anything else? No dead body. I don't think we're gonna be friends. Okay, so I feel like something I haven't done yet is look into Jake's parents. Getting to know the parents will help me understand the child and why Jake is the way he is. Usually, I would just meet them, but luckily, both his parents are on YouTube. So this video is called Logan Paul's Dad is Extremely Creepy. Alright, I'll judge for myself.
In light of recent events regarding Logan Paul filming a dead guy, left me with a couple of questions that I'd like answered. The most important question being, why is Logan Paul Logan Paul? I got to thinking about that the past couple of days, and I came to the conclusion it 100% has everything to do with parenting. And that's what happened here. So, whose nuts did Jake Paul and Logan Paul come from? All right, the culprit here is none other than Vlog Dad Greg Paul.
Yo, what's happening, folks?
And if you think this is cringy, we're just getting started. Ohio workout routine, savages only.
Now my dad is like, yo, I'm a better kisser than you.
I got more experience, bro.
Dad, there's only one way to settle this. We have to kiss the same girl.
So am I picking the girl?
And then you have to guess, you have to say 1, 2, or 3 was the best, okay?
Maybe
All right.
4.
Contestant number 3, step on up.
Calm down! Apollo! Apollo, calm down!
Who did that? Which one did that?
You guys like my new shirt? Half and half.
What happened?
Dad is vlogging, and in the background, the dog is barking, and the girl's holding it, and then Jake and Logan are trying to tell the dog to be quiet, and then Logan grabs a plate and smashes it right in front of the dog.
Really?
And he's like, be quiet. Like it's like a joke. And the dad's just like, watching.
Like my new shirt.
You guys like my new shirt?
It's not like they kicked the dog or something, right? But like the fact that they broke a plate that close to a dog.
Did it on camera.
And it's on camera, and the dad and nobody's acting like it's crazy. It's weird. Are they together?
I don't think so. I've never seen them like in the same place.
Oh wow, mom's not even in dad's other channels. That's a messy divorce.
Greg didn't do that either, though. Wow.
What
was she just like dissing?
Oh
her
yeah.
ex-husband? Like feud.
Well, that not only was a feud, but that was like kind of telling.
Oh my god, that title. Does Vlog Mom reveal who she likes better, Logan or Jake?
I'm glad that we can have real connections now. It's just both of each other vlogging.
I know, right?
Like she's using his high school photos as a thumbnail. Like imagine your mom. Like imagine going on YouTube and seeing that your mom used your high school photos as a thumbnail.
Oh man.
Right?
Whoa. When you put it like that. Because that just seems so like, I don't know what the word is for that.
Wow, look who's here. It's Jerica. What? Time to go, guys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't give a about your vlog.
You're so mean to me. You need to leave.
No, that wasn't mean to you. That's just like, that's what I'm saying. She didn't even look at you.
Erica doesn't want to be on camera, don't you get it?
But neither did Jake.
I know. Morning, Jaker.
We got Sleep and Beauty.
Yeah. Okay.
I love you, Bob.
Love you too, guys.
When Jake walked out, he literally turned back around after he saw his mom was down there vlogging, like he didn't want to come down. I'm sure that the mom loves them, and I don't blame her, because I think she's probably so excited that people are like watching, and she has a vlog channel. Maybe she's feeling a little bit like, oh, I have a thing too.
100,000 subscribers, Vlog Mom. Look at that. I love it, you guys, and it's all because of you.
But what was their childhood like? Were there no boundaries? And I don't know.
He knows how you talk to people on camera. Why is he wanting to do a video with you too? That's another thing. Maybe he kind of is hoping that somebody kind of swoops in and kind of helps him with stuff like this. Maybe he just is a byproduct of kind of the people around him. Maybe that's not even who he really is.
Team 10 is a dysfunctional family. My family is a dysfunctional family. Everything in my life is one big dysfunctional head.
Jake Paul, draw my life.
Yo, yo, yo! If you're new here, my name is Jake Paul, and this is my channel. I'm currently 19 years old. I live in Los Angeles with my friends, Team 10. I'm an actor in a couple of movies, and I make videos online for you guys. There's a lot more to the story, and today I'm going to draw it out for you. My parents' names are Greg Paul and Pamela Stepnick. They already had another kid named Logan Paul, so this made us brothers, and he was older by 2 years. Logan was also a savage, and I spent my whole life with him basically side by side. My mom gave me my nice and caring side, while my dad gave me my manly and hard-working side. My mom was a nurse. My dad used to be in the army and then became a real estate agent, and from the time I can remember, my parents instilled in Logan and I a great work ethic and a competitive spirit. Whatever we did, we wanted to be the best at, and we had the work ethic to match that. My brother and I would always train and work out to become better at playing football. My dad, Logan, and I would train all the time and push our limits to become better athletes. We would always see who could run faster, do more push-ups, and so on. Right around this time, my dad bought my brother and I a camera so we could record our football games, watch them back, and see how we could improve. My mom would be the filmer, and she was also our biggest fan. And our dad was the head coach of our Pee Wee League team. Football aside, Logan and I took the camera and...
Like, I'm not a therapist, but your dad's the coach. And then you have to watch it again, and they tell you what you did wrong.
The competitive spirit thing is a lot.
Logan and I took the camera and started filming random stuff we did around our house. We started watching YouTube videos as our form of entertainment. Our favorite channel was called Smosh. We loved their videos and wanted to create our own channel. So, being the savages we were, we did. And we called it Zoosh. God damn it, Logan, what were we thinking? It was almost the exact same as Smosh. In the meantime, my parents had started fighting and eventually got a divorce. This was a bit of a hard time for Logan and I, but at the end of it, it taught us a lot about life. By the time I was in middle school, as you can imagine, I was the class clown. Always causing trouble, making jokes, and I couldn't sit still. I didn't like school. I still don't. In 8th grade, our class would go on a trip to Washington, D.C. at the end of the year. But you couldn't go on the trip if you had 15 behavior strikes. By the middle of the year, I had 14. So, I became a good kid for the rest of the year and got to go on the trip. Savage. As a freshman, I no longer wanted to go to the NFL. Football just wasn't as fun anymore, and wrestling seemed to interest me more.
Can I just say something? Not to like diagnose or like get you whatever, but like, I don't know if, like, it doesn't seem like it's a coincidence that like his parents broke up. He said he was going through a hard time, which led to him getting 14 behavioral strikes. And then he decided, if football's boring, now I want to wrestle. Like, that's a kid with a fuck ton of anger issues.
The only more aggressive sport than football is wrestling.
Yeah. That's somebody who needs to take out all that anger, and they can't do it at home, so they do it. It's cool. I know they do it on YouTube. Okay. Oh my god, another fighting.
Jake Paul is your winner.
After wrestling season, I found myself lost. I didn't know what my future looked like. I didn't know what I wanted to do. This went on for a couple months until I found out about the Navy SEALs. It was everything I loved. Hard work, mental toughness, guns, fast vehicles, competition. For the next couple of months, that's all I could think about and do. Until summer came and Logan said to me, we should start making videos again. I was so down. Randomly, 2 weeks later, this app called Vine had just came out. I told my bro about it and he loved it too. 2 weeks later, we got into a competition, of course, on who could get more followers. So, here we were in the middle of Ohio, spending hours.
This fucking competition shit sucks.
Yeah. Well, also, like, they train us to have a competitive spirit. They're trying to get them to be better at football. Like, go to the NFL. Like, they kind of train them to do this.
Right.
I realized that I could make money from making videos. This was amazing. I didn't know what to do except freak out. It got to a point where I would go to wrestling tournaments and the competition would ask to take pictures with me or be freaking out. Sometimes, though, they would film me if I lost and post it on Vine talking that smack talk. The videos just made me laugh, though. The bad part about all the fame and money is that attracts haters. People in my school, the kids that I grew up with, started hating on me. They would talk so much smack and tweet me the nastiest things. At first, this really upset me and it was hard to deal with. My mom would see the haters and call their moms and yell at them. Love you, Mom. Eventually, though, I realized that they were just jealous and that was their way of expressing it. I knew that I could turn my internet fame into something massive. And so that's what I set out to do. On my last day of school, I said goodbye. Most kids were still talking smack and a teacher even asked me, "What are you going to do when social media dies?" on my way out. I just smiled and waved. They didn't understand the vision. 17 and in Los Angeles with a lot to prove, I started grinding every day trying to make things happen. I started by going to acting classes, improv classes, and meeting with anyone I could. But I knew I wanted to do social media, acting, and business. This is when I created Team 10. It started with Alyssa and I, and kept growing, and then now we're growing more and more each month. I mean, Eventually, while all of this was happening, I then got called into audition for Disney Channel's new show called Bizarre Park. It was intimidating and nerve-wracking. My brother said to me, either come back Dirk or come back on your shield. After a couple of auditions and beating out the other actors, I came back Dirk. I remember getting the call and just freaking out. I legit almost cried. It was a dream come true. I filmed the first season of the show already, and we start filming season 2 here in a couple months. The other week, I got to do the infamous, "Hi, I'm Jake Paul, and you're watching Disney Channel," with the wand and everything. It's about to be 2017, and that's basically my life in a nutshell. Posting every day on YouTube, acting, doing business, making comedy skits for Instagram, and laughing the rest of the time. If you aren't already a Jake Pauler, you better join the family because we are just getting started. And 2017 is going to be the craziest year yet. That's so ironic because 2017 was like the worst year of his life. I think this is like way more deep and complicated than I was expecting. After days and days of trying to convince him, Nick Crompton is in.
No, it's Nick Crompton and my collar stay popping.
He said, when my life started getting crazy with all the attention and the money, etc., I started typing up all my core values and beliefs in my notepad, so I never lost myself or did something that I would regret. In those notes, there's a sentence that says, I'll never publicly talk about the personal lives of others, as I expect the same from people closest to me. I guess I could try to do this if Jake knows 100% that I'm doing it. I don't want him to think I'm going behind his back, and I don't want anybody to think that I'm talking about them for publicity. So what's like one question that you think I should ask him?
One question for Jake Paul. This is a bad question.
What?
You're gonna be like, this is not serious. I wanna know if Jericho's real or not. I've heard that it's fake.
This is so cinematic.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
Thank you for doing
I was gonna say.
So, how did Jake even find you?
So back in the UK, I built a marketing agency with like 6 other people, and it did really well. I ended up coming out here and helping Jake build Team 10.
I still don't think I understand how insane the whole thing was and what it must have been like to be in Team 10 with all the people outside.
It's every day, bro! It's every day, bro!
With hundreds of millions of views on a music video. You're a meme, you're everywhere.
What is that? What is that?
And like, that's not what you probably signed up for.
No.
You know it's Nick Crompton and my collar stay popping.
Is that why you were nervous to do this? Or why it's taken a while for you to say yeah?
Talking about how I feel and what's going in my head and talking about someone else's personal life is not something I'm comfortable with, but Jake said it was fine, so we're here.
Yeah.
Okay, what was it like living in the Team 10 house? Did you actually live in it?
Yeah.
Like you slept there? What was that like?
I guess Team 10 was like my college experience. Or the closest thing that I'm going to get to it because I didn't go. There's a bunch of people living together, just having fun. But we were making money at the same time and it was a business.
Was it as chaotic as people make it out?
No. If it was, I wouldn't have lived there.
Right.
Like, I can't deal with that.
Because one thing I did hear about from somebody was some of the pranks, like the bigger, crazier pranks, were planned.
Okay.
Are you scared to say it? Jake is going to have to tell me the truth. That's the whole thing. Jake said he swore to God he would be super honest with me when it came to everything. So when I asked him that, and I'm like, were some of the pranks fake? Like breaking down walls, and like doing crazy things.
Good morning!
Like, was that all planned? If he says, no, it was real, I'm going to be like, you're a liar, and I'm going to leave. So...
Is that really what you're going to do?
What?
What you just said. If he says that it's not you're just gonna walk out?
Yeah, if he lies to me about anything, I'm just gonna leave.
Okay. This is like I feel like it fixes a lot of problems, especially some of the big problems where people just think something that's not true.
You couldn't breathe?
No.
I feel like pretty much everyone that's a little bit older knows that it's all fake.
It's all over!
It's just difficult to say that they're fake when there's still loads of young kids watching and enjoying it, and I don't want to be responsible for ruining that whole thing.
All of this is planned. If like destroying someone's room is planned, if handcuffing people to beds or whatever is planned.
No, Jake. Jake, no.
If pushing people down in stores and doing all that kind of stuff is planned.
That's how we're gonna wake everyone up.
Then it kind of changes my opinion a little bit. Because it makes him look less like impulsive and crazy.
What the hell are you doing?
Good morning, honey!
And more like, this will be funny, right? If I break this thing and throw this thing and do this thing. I guess I'm talking about those ones.
Yeah.
Like, what's the biggest one? Like, he destroyed a kid's room or something? That was a thing.
I mean, that whole thing, as I've never talked about this, but we're on the topic. I was super close to the Martinez twins, as was Jake, and as was everyone on Team 10. Like, it was super fun, and we all loved each other, and then all of a sudden, they came out with this video.
Yo, what's up guys? We're the Martinez twins.
Saying that we were bullying them.
You bully us for like 8 months. Now, it's our time. And I'm sorry, Jake. I'm so sorry because of this.
Using examples from Jake's vlogs, like him being handcuffed to a bed or something for a day or whatever it was.
We were in a room, so he started pranking us every single day. Like, we felt so bad. Like, the reason's like
not real. Like, it's so strange to say that. I don't. And if Jake had just said that, or if anyone had just said the pranks are fake, that would have debunked everything the Martinez twins were doing.
There's a lot of things in Jake's life that people think is fake. His girlfriend Erica.
Oh man, I spelled it wrong.
She wasn't like cast to be his girlfriend?
No.
Will you be my girlfriend?
I don't know why people have this like thought that Team 10 is cast.
When I first met him, our relationship was completely business.
Online, like Erica and I are dating.
And you cast Erica to be Jake's girlfriend, and that's her role, that's who she is.
And I use all these thumbnails where I say she's my girlfriend.
The stuff that we do is dramatized, but it's still real people.
You can only pretend so much on the vlogs. I think it's very obvious when Jerica like started getting super real.
Everything seems very much like maybe these kids have paid to be there.
There's no way anyone would ever be signed to Team 10 because they bribed their way in. He would never accept someone if he thought they couldn't be something, because then he's a failure.
But he takes a percentage, right?
Yeah.
20%, that was like a big thing.
Members leave Team 10, but I still collect their checks. Every single one of them, and that includes my ex.
And this is another thing, like, that money doesn't go in Jake's pocket, as everyone likes to believe. It goes in Team 10's pocket. The original Team 10 house was rented and paid for by those investors.
I'm Jake Paul, I'm a Snapchat creator and actor, and this is my home. Come check it out.
And help cover the costs of paying staff. What the talent were making, the 20%, would go to Team 10 to be able to pay for the staff, to be able to provide that.
So, the house. The biggest thing that happened was the address was leaked. Like, couldn't you Google Team 10 house and it would pop up?
Yeah. Another thing that people seem to believe is that Jake would leak his own address so people would come, like...
He apparently makes his address no secret. The neighbors hate me.
Why would you want around 50 to 70, 80 people outside your house at all times?
Hey, don't pound. Guys, don't pound. Knock. Knock is courteous.
Jake definitely doesn't want that. None of us in the house wanted that.
Teensy, the wall. Get a piece of it.
Because as soon as you go out that door, it's instant screaming from a bunch of people. And usually you have paparazzi filming, so whatever you do and say or don't do, like it's all recorded.
Gentle, they make you famous. Gentle with the children, they make you famous.
When that's happening, and you have all those people outside, you don't want to get pictures with them because that encourages everyone else to come as well.
People around him not think he's nice.
People around him think he's nice.
Saying that makes people think like
that I must be some kind of dumbass.
Yeah.
I must be really manipulated or just really dumb.
Yeah.
Like I must be so dumb to be even talking about him nicely right now and giving him this redemption bullshit. But it isn't. This is all just the truth.
When did it all start to fall apart? Like what made everybody just started leaving kind of one by one by one?
Really, I love everyone here, and I have so much fun filming with everyone. And you guys need to understand that you're being manipulated. And I know for a fact, I've been there, guys. It's me.
In the beginning, there were different reasons for different people. Things for me started getting different when Greg Paul got involved.
Are you okay talking about this?
Yeah. He's just... I don't know how to explain that man. But he forced his way in, and somehow, I mean, in the beginning, he tried to get involved, and I'd talk to Jake, and he'd come out, and it didn't work out, and he'd rub everyone up the wrong way, and just no one wanted him there, and then he ended up disappearing again, going back to Ohio. And it was like a cycle, like Jake would get mad at him and be like, you're fucking everything up, just go away. And then, I don't know, he came out again to, when we moved into the new house, and I don't know, just managed to get some kind of authority and start making decisions, and everything just started not being what it was supposed to be. And I didn't like it, I didn't like what was happening, so I left.
I don't want to like involve the family, right? Like I just wanted to do something about Jake. But if I'm doing something about the fall of Jake Paul and all the drama and the controversies, his dad is involved in a lot of it. Okay, what happened to where you still haven't talked to Jake?
So, I knew when I told him that I wanted to leave, he would want me to leave right then. He does take things very personally. And I think maybe someone like me leaving would hit him more than it has before. I tried to do it in the best way possible, but I think he was just too upset or angry to even listen, and it was just very abrupt with me, and asked me to leave, so I left. And I've texted him a few times on certain things. I texted him just before the fight. That's the last time I texted him, just saying good luck, not that you need it. Still not heard anything back. It makes me sad that, like, sometimes I think to myself, like, what if he didn't give a fuck about me, actually? Like, what if he just saw me as this person that was going to help him run his business, and that when I chose to leave that, it's like, oh, fuck it, I don't give a fuck. Like, I wasn't actually his friend or anything like that. I don't know anything at this point. I don't think he is one. He shows too much emotion in everything that he does to be a sociopath. And I feel like I can read people very well. I know when someone's been fake and I know when someone isn't. And I can see, oh my god, I can see him, when things happen to him and he's hurt, I can see him trying to process what he's feeling. But he like has a hard time doing it.
The Alyssa situation with the ex-girlfriend.
Jake's kicking me out.
Yeah.
I watched her video.
It was both of our faults, really. He shouldn't have treated me like shit day after day and then expect everything to be okay.
And I saw videos of him like spitting on her. Was the thing about Logan like hooking up with Jake's ex-girlfriend?
Alyssa had sex with his older brother, Logan.
How much of all of that is real?
No, it's very much real.
So like Jake's brother hooking up with Jake's ex-girlfriend.
That wasn't planned. That'd be sick if that was planned.
But it happened?
Yeah.
Like, what was his reaction to that?
Oh,
not good.
No,
not good.
No, he was. Yeah, I don't know if that is something you should bring up. That is a very. Yeah.
How was this not more talked about? I'm so confused. How was this a thing?
I've lost complete track of like what is public and what isn't. It's mainly why I don't talk about things, because I don't know what people know and what people don't know anymore. So I'm pretty sure it's public knowledge.
From your brother now, and he's a better kisser now, Oh, did you hear that? She said he was your better kisser now.
But with anything on the internet, a couple weeks later, it's no one gives a fuck anymore.
But like in real life.
In real life, yeah.
Like for Jake, that's like, I feel like I have to talk to him about that. Like, how did you deal with that emotionally, mentally?
Well, what does that say about his relationship with his brother?
Yeah, that's interesting too.
It got, for me, scary at one point because they kept one-upping each other.
Now she in the low gang and you know she on my team.
And I was like, when is this gonna stop? There was a moment there when I was like, what is going on right now? Like, I was worried that they were just gonna destroy each other. He's open with the people that he's close to, but I've not seen him let in a stranger ever in my life.
His girlfriend Erica.
Yeah.
Thoughts on that?
Erica's probably one of the best things that's, in my opinion, happened to Jake. Like, that's not one of those fake, I just like them together. I think they both have the same work ethic. They both work around the clock, and Erica will tell Jake how it is, which I don't think he's had that from girls before. But this doesn't work if he's not honest. Like, if he sits there and he has a rehearsed thing and he's just doing this to try and save himself, then that's fucked up. If he's gonna do this and he's gonna be real, then I think people should give him the chance. For me, if I was in his position, I went to bed at night and I knew a lot of the world just thought I was an evil prick, I wouldn't be able to sleep.
That's something you should not feel weak about feeling that, because that is like something that would tear up a person. It didn't tear you up because you were probably like raised to like be strong, but I think that might be forcing you to push that shit down, because like that's
Erica had to like come into my life to like teach me how to like love and trust again, and yeah, it's been a lot to deal with.
Yeah.
He's trying to see if Jake Paul's a sociopath. And I personally don't think that Jake Paul's a sociopath.
Do you think that Jake Paul is a sociopath?
Probably, yeah.
Maybe, okay.
Probably.
'Cause, like,
Don't you think there are a lot of people functioning normally in life then? If 1 in 25 people have antisocial personality disorder? Anyway, I'm getting too heated.
I'm a human being, but I'm also a sociopath.
You need to recognize those tendencies, because if we don't, we start getting into toxic relationships.
I see this is promoting the fact that Jake Paul's a sociopath. Tell us something we don't know, bitch. We know Jake Paul's crazy as fuck.
Oh my god,
What in the unseasoned chicken is going on here?
What is his life, I guess, is what I need to figure out.
And that, I don't know if the questions I ask, like I said, you don't have to ask him, like the questions I posed to you. But those will kind of give us an idea if they crave being really like engaging in risk-taking behavior.
Right.
Oh?
You have a school bus.
This is fucking crazy. What is the school?
Sorry.
Oh, this is
Jake.
This is Katie producing.
Nice to meet you.
Hi. Oh my god.
I'm surprised this is like the first time we're like finally meeting.
It's really weird.
After like years of knowing about each other, I feel like we have a lot of mutual friends too.
Hi! Nice to meet you. How are you? Did you guys just get here?
Are you nervous?
I'm nervous.
I was watching you guys walk
Yeah,
around.
I'm nervous.
And it's weird because you're normally the one doing this to people, like making them feel nervous.
Yeah, because I'm normally the one with the camera.
Yeah.
You've never really done anything like...
I've never, like, I don't even, like, talk to other YouTubers. What?
Wait,
Chad, what are you doing, bro?
Have you seen the Jackass one where he has like millions of rat traps and he dresses up as a rat and there's cheese on the other side?
I don't think I've seen that.
Well, I'm gonna do that, and then I'm gonna.
You're gonna do that today?
Yeah, I didn't even know you were coming either. I planned that earlier. Thank you.
Also, there's a boxing ring in the living room.
There's that.
Golf simulators.
Or we get like nice rugs and like a nice couch.
Look at her.
Things in there.
She keeps us level. She tries.
It's very hard.
I think you know everything.
Oh, the last 3 weeks, I have been doing the most intensive research, more than I've ever done my whole life.
Really?
Yeah, yes. A lot of things, we'll save most of it for tomorrow. But it's interesting.
Yeah, they're broken. We broke them all though.
Yeah, I would have broken.
Look at the tracks on the ground. We literally like.
Do you do shit like that just not on camera too?
Yeah,
just like for fun?
That's all I do. Like, it's weird because like right now I haven't taken like a vacation or like a break from work for like 4 years.
Oh fuck.
Yeah, right now like I'm on like a vacation.
For how long?
Like a month.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, just because like I felt like I didn't deserve a vacation or like need a vacation, but like I feel like I'd earned it. And you want to like try to top yourself and like make it like better, and like it's like a challenge, you know. And I think that's like where a lot of like the madness and like craziness comes in, and like because it just never ends, and you just want to keep on like growing and growing and growing. Yeah, but that's what I love to do. Like I love adrenaline and like going fast and like cars and like motors and stuff.
Are you ever scared of getting hurt?
Not really. I don't know. I just don't think about it.
Have you ever been hurt? Like from one of these pranks or stunts or videos or just in real life?
Not really, no. I've been doing like dumb shit since I was like a kid. Like that's what you do for fun in Ohio. Like there's nothing to do.
That's what I was thinking, like when I was going through all your old videos and I saw like videos of you and Logan like lighting shit on fire. Not that lighting, you know, a pool on fire or whatever in LA is a good idea, it's not. but I was like, oh, they did this when they were young. In Ohio it's different because you had open
you can have a
space.
bonfire in Ohio, like a just giant fire.
Yeah, you can
It's
even have
interesting
fireworks
that you
here.
say that. I didn't even realize that.
What?
We like we've always been playing with fire. Like you're right.
Yeah, literally, yeah. A lot of people think you guys are fake. But I've heard from, you know, sources.
Your sources.
But actually know you guys. It's actually real.
Yeah.
So, does that piss you off? And does it make you angry because you're like, I'm actually fucking real?
No, it doesn't piss me off because we know.
Yeah.
And that's all that like really matters.
We'll come into Team 10. I give them everything, like managers, agents, house, food, money, places to live, like fame, cameramen, editors, brand deals, like everything. I give it to them, and then they forget where they came from after a couple months, and they're like, oh, I could do this on my own. Like, why is Team 10 taking a percentage of my earnings? Like, I want to do something else.
Because they don't want to really work as hard as you need to stay there.
What's Jake Paul 2?
I had a second account, but I gave it to my friend because when Chance left Team 10, he like stole their account. Because Chance and Anthony had an account together, and like Chance left Team 10 and like switched the passwords and like stole the account. And so Anthony was like left without like anything, and so I just gave him my second account.
Oh.
Yeah, studio vibes. So it's like a movie theater slash music studio.
So this is where you do all the songs?
Yes. Just like here and there. Like I call it like YouTube music. Yeah. But like, are we sitting down now?
I was really curious about the music because I feel like I always took it as a joke. Like, kind of self-aware and kind of a parody and kind of like, you know, like with the driving around the expensive cars and throwing money and like, I'm the best, PewDiePie's next. Like in my head, I was like, oh, it's like funny. So it's not like you as a person. Like as a person, you're not, or are you like cocky, bragging?
I think I definitely was like growing up, but I don't think I am anymore, at least. Growing up, like, I was always like super competitive and like played sports. How it is, like where I'm from, it's like, oh, like I'm the best running back, I'm the best linebacker, like I'm the fastest, and like I'm gonna prove it to everybody, and like whatever we did, we wanted to be the best at. That's like the vibe of like where I'm from, and I think that carried over a little bit, yeah, into like YouTube and like becoming successful. But before, I just didn't give a shit. Like I just did whatever. It wasn't even I did whatever I wanted. Like I just like was moving a million miles per hour, and now it's just like finding the balance, because you have to learn that there's like consequences for certain shit that you do, especially like when millions of people are watching.
Yeah. What motivates you? What's like your main driving thing? Like, why do you do this?
Honestly, to me, like I love to just create and like build and like watch things grow. Whether it's like creating a video and like watching it back, even since I was like 12 years old and making videos, like I was like my own biggest fan. Like I'd love to like watch them back and like see how I could have done it better.
Alright, now say perfect.
So like I always just like to challenge myself and see how hard I can push myself. I want to show other kids from like small towns that they can become as big as you want, like if you work for it and like truly are passionate about what you're doing. And I also like to like just make people around me proud. Like I like to make my parents proud, and so like I'm always thinking about them like when I'm working. So yeah, it's kind of like a combination of a lot of things like that motivate me.
Your mom still lives in Ohio?
Yeah.
And then your dad is here?
Yeah, right? my dad's like back and forth.
Oh, okay.
They're divorced, yeah. My mom's remarried.
Interesting.
So I would go like a week with my mom and then like a week with my dad growing up. Since I was
How
like,
long?
It was like two different worlds too. Like my mom's house, I could like go hang out with friends and like do whatever I want, and then I go to my dad's house and just like work.
What should we do? Like, what's something fun that you do? Like, this is your vacation. Like, what's like something you want to do on a day off?
We were talking about going to Walmart and getting tents and like making like a campground in the backyard. Or we can go like we can go fast.
I find myself feeling bad for him, and that makes me suspicious. Even though my inner self is like, he's so nice. Like, I don't know. The adrenaline junkie thing is like only one of the things.
It seems like when we asked what motivated him, that seemed real to me. I don't know.
When he said to make his parents proud, that's what I was hoping.
Wait, Jake, what are we doing?
We're going on the We're going on the course.
What? We have an off-roading course here.
What does that mean?
Send it.
What's going on? Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Wait, where are we going? Where the fuck are we going, Jake? Oh my god! Oh my fucking god! Oh my god! I don't want to be in season! Oh my god! 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 Dear Jesus! Jake, where are we on?
Welcome to Ohio! Don't worry, I'm a good driver.
He actually is.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god! Oh my god!
We're gonna die!
We're literally gonna die!
We really need goggles for that. You did it!
That's what I do for fun.
You know, for fun, I want travel TV. There's some stuff that like I don't know if we can put in this, right? But I need to figure it out because some of the things that Jake is saying to me, it makes everything make sense.
It kind of does.
Everything makes sense, and now I feel like if I can't say it, then people are gonna be like, with ex-girlfriends and with drama with friends, like it all makes sense. Maybe he will talk about it on camera, but then is that gonna ruin his life? Because it's like dark shit.
Yeah. I don't know what you do in this situation.
What does that have to do?
I didn't really get it. I got a little bit of it, but this is
next level.
This is a mess.
What's going on with that? So you won.
No one expected that here.
How real was like all the beef and stuff?
You're a pussy. I'm saying it to your face now, you're a pussy.
Cool. 100% real.
That's so crazy because I thought it was like, I thought like wrestling, like, you know how like they all fight and like all whatever, you guys make videos about each other. But it seemed very actually real. But some of the press conference stuff seemed a little like staged.
It was like showboaty, yeah.
What are your thoughts?
He's so nice. He really genuinely cares about people.
I think so too, right? We were talking about, you know, YouTube and how his ads are not good.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people think he is Logan, associate him with Logan.
You're with Logan?
Oh yeah, Logan Paul.
Thanks.
So, it's interesting. I don't know.
Where did the dad go? I don't even think I got him on camera.
The third floor. There's a floor above where Jake's room was, where we haven't been.
Maybe that's where his dad lives. His dad was there, but he didn't.
He was there for like a split second. I don't even know if I got him on camera.
Like, listen, he's done a lot of crazy shit. Obviously, I'm not negating that. So far, like,
yeah,
I don't feel weird. I don't feel unsafe.
And just like he wasn't crazy with you in the car when you guys like drove off on that crazy ATV.
Yeah.
I mean, it was like fun, but it
no,
was like safe.
he was. Yeah, he was. And I like her.
I like her a lot.
Like, she's cool.
She's super nice, and just like he cares for her, and like the way he interacts, it's really sweet. People saying he abused me and like all this shit. It was all she said.
So we were just talking and stuff, and then the assault came up.
Yeah.
So basically, the girl, your assistant.
Yeah.
Megan, yeah.
So she said that she was at a club, FaZe Banks assaulted her,
Yeah.
choked her or something, and then it turned into this whole thing because people thought you like planned it and it was fake, and it was just like a fake assault. Right?
Yeah.
So I know what I think happened.
And was at the club that night, like that was totally true. And when she left, she sent me these 3 voice memos, like freaking the fuck out. And I still have these voice memos like to this day. This guy like strangled her, like hurt her, and now she's at her building and she's genuinely scared to sleep.
What actually happened?
Yeah.
Do you guys believe her?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I believe something happened for sure.
Something definitely happened.
We
Like,
don't know
what
what
happened? Like, I don't know if I can trust her really.
The main issue is you instantly made a video about it, used it as a thumbnail. That questions it, like, oh, you put it in the middle of a
Yeah, it
vlog,
seems like
you know?
thirsty. I did that, and then like the next day, Alyssa's like makes a video on his channel like saying that like I assaulted her and shit. Like,
she said she did assault.
Yeah.
He dragged me down the stairs.
She also said that he assaulted me.
And you've physically abused Erica Costell?
Has Jake ever laid a finger on you?
Never.
I went to this YouTube Creator Summit thing, and like I literally just like sat by myself the whole time. Like no one was like, hey man, like your videos or like anything like that, you know. And I knew like I'm not. I feel like I'm being like, I feel like I'm complaining.
It's okay. No, I think, listen, like, I think it's okay because, like, people don't see that from you. You're kind of always, like, pretending like you're fine. So I think it's interesting. Because I do wonder that, like, if you're so hated by kind of, like, a lot of the YouTubers and people who've never met you, and then you go to something like that.
You would think, like I'm one of the biggest YouTubers, right? So you would think, like, someone would come up and be like, hey, man, like, nice to meet you, or, like, there was just, like, wasn't that... I don't know. I was kind of like the elephant in the room, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Really good because nobody really knows Jake at all. I feel like I'm the only person actually who like knows like everything about him, and nobody online ever gets to see that. He's at a point now where he's been fucked over so many times by friends, family. You know some of the stuff off camera. Like that's hard to let go of. Could you picture being around someone after something like that happened to you? Never, right? Like never. So if he's able to, let out the window and like find things that make him happy, I think it should be exposed and talked about.
My main thing that I wanted to tell you was, from what I've seen today, but also just in a lot of research and from what I've heard from Nick and like other people that I trust, you are kind of like the only. This is so bad to say.
Uh-oh.
the only hope that Jake has of a normal life.
He doesn't know how to like be normal. Like that's the best way I can put it. He doesn't know how to wake up and like not be in charge or like feel like he has to do a million things. The fight was like a lot mentally and physically on him, but like I also didn't do anything this summer because we were just training for the fight, and I was just like helping him do that. So I was like, September is summer and you're not gonna vlog for at least 2 weeks. Like no vlogging, like we're gonna go do something, we're gonna leave, we're gonna go be normal, and you're gonna have fun and it's gonna be great. And to my surprise, he was like, I think he's finally ready to like have that. Yeah.
What I will say is working with family is bad.
Trust me, I know.
It's bad. It doesn't work. Even if you love the person and they love you, it doesn't work.
It doesn't matter. I agree.
Greg,
yeah.
Is living here?
Yeah. Yeah, he's been living here for a couple months now. It's not a good situation, and I think everybody in the house knows that. I know everyone in the house knows that because everyone tells me everything. It's not good to have him living here. Everybody that you saw this morning, they all live here. And it's very clear to me, at least, that like it's Logan and then Jake. And there's only so long before you start to feel like resentment, because half the time it's Jake's ideas and like Jake's creative, and it's like he doesn't even get the full credit for it. Yeah. Done all this research on him, like you're gaining nothing by telling him the truth or not telling him the truth.
Yeah.
I need more people to know people in his life. He doesn't have a lot of, he's all yes men here, like mostly.
I'm gonna tell you something, and you promise not to tell Jake. So Katie is not my producer. She is
a licensed therapist?
So she's a therapist.
Oh, okay.
And very quickly she realized, as I did, like, it's not. And it's just like,
no.
So we just talked to Erica for 2 hours. Yeah. And then Jake trusts her. And she might be one of the only people that, like, is honest with her about everything. How do you feel about him?
He was very different than I thought. Like, based on all the videos we've watched and all the content I've been reading about sociopaths, just to better understand it, to make sure that I'm not missing something and not neglecting the symptoms or anything like that. And there was none of that.
I know.
And like, he really gives to people. Like, he bought a huge home and has everybody living in it essentially for free. Yeah. Like, that's it. Like you said, like, I think he's just a simple guy, and he just wants people around him who he loves, and he'll spend whatever he has to spend to make that happen.
My goal, maybe, should be to meet with him and give him a chance to be honest about everything that's happened, and, you know, all the drama, the controversies. Let him speak his truth, and if people don't want to believe it, that's fine. And he wants to, even though he's like really scared. I'm gonna say if I believe it or not, which is, I don't know if I should. Fuck it. I
think you should. Because, like we talked about, I thought he was a bad person because of what people said was true. And so I think that if he's open to it, you can give him the ability to share the truth. In all honesty, even though he stays quiet just because he feels like it's not worth it, like people are just gonna come back with like 100 other fights to start and drama to stir up. This gives him the one opportunity to speak his truth and say it. I think he really wants to, you know, because I mean, he's been quiet, but I think he'd like to get it off his chest.
Some of the stuff I heard about yesterday off camera, everybody has blackmail. Everybody has secret recordings, and secret footage, and, you know, secret documents and all these things, and they all kind of hold it over each other's heads and to shut everybody up. And it's on all sides, right?
No, that's 100% true. I know that to be 100% true.
Yeah.
Because, Shane, people come to me and they want me to expose secret recordings and stuff of other people. And I have to say to them, I'm like, dude, I'm not an exposed channel. If you put it out there, I'll report it because it's public, but I'm not going to do your dirty work.
Is there anything specifically, like, don't mention or ask him about? People are going to give me shit and say, oh, you were too easy on him.
I want to know why he never removed the video where the assistant claimed that, you know, she was beaten by FaZe Banks. Like, that was, like, proven, like, 100% proven that FaZe Banks was innocent. And he never removed the video.
I agree.
Because everyone knows he's wrong in that situation. Just
don't even like pay for this. Like it's like our company that pays for it.
Wait, who pays for this house?
Investors and all that.
Where the fuck do I get
For me to make those choices.
How did you join Team 10? How did you meet Jake? How did all of this really go down? Did he find you and like cast you? Because that was a big thing everybody's talking about.
Yeah, so no. I was never casted. I'm just gonna start with like how I met them. If my voice sounds shaky, I'm sorry. I met them in Ohio and had like a little thing with Jake for a while.
That's how Alyssa and I know each other, because we're both from Ohio. We've been friends
done?
for like 2. What, you just said that? Yo!
And then that was like a few days before I moved to LA. And then, sorry, I'm like really weird. It's okay. Second I'm on camera, I like freak out. It's okay. So I met Jake and met Logan, met the whole family, went to like Christmas with them, all of that. And then they moved to LA and I was just texting Jake nonstop. He was like, oh, well, I know you want to be a model. Like I could help you with modeling. Like, how about you come out to LA? I can like just help you with that. Maybe send you to an agency and just, you know, like I'll take a percentage of you and you just help me in videos and I can be like your or you can be in my videos for just like my thumbnail and all that stuff. And then I was like, oh yeah, like that works.
And you guys weren't dating?
No, we never officially dated, ever. Well, it started like when he noticed his videos did better with me in the thumbnail, and then he started it like right after that, so maybe like 1.5 to 2 years. He started like Jalissa. Should we talk about Team 10?
Yeah.
Okay, so originally I signed a contract with Maverick Media and 10 Digit Media. Maverick Media was Logan Paul, 10 Digit Media was Jake Paul, and that was like June 2015.
So you signed a contract with Logan?
With Logan and Jake. After like a year went on, Logan like called me and was like, hey, like I don't really feel comfortable taking a percentage of you, like, or I'm like, you can leave the contract, like I just don't want to take a percentage of you. Just
your video. You talked about some like abuse, and that was a big thing, right? It was, you know, talking about Jake hurting you off camera and like being abusive to you was the tone of the video. But then when I was digging into it, you know, that was a year ago. So when I was digging into it more recently, I don't know 100% if that's real or what really happened.
Yeah.
Alyssa, Violet, and Jake broke up because there was a lot of abuse and shit like that. Alyssa started...
Listen, we gotta clarify that because it's a huge word.
I wasn't like getting abused every night when he came home from work. It was never like physical abuse. There was some things like if we filmed a video and he had to push me into a bush, normally you would just like nudge someone or pretend to push someone, like just act like you pushed harder, but he would actually like shove me. And like I showed in my videos, I still have like, there's like these 2 little dots here and like there's scratches, like it's just stuff like that where just he would just do it way too hard. And I want to clear the air because he's not like a physical abuser, like he's not an abuser, but it's mentally and emotionally 100%. Every day, 2,000 times a day. I can't even remember a conversation where it was like me walking away like feeling good about myself. I never like did anything to his head for a long time. He just kept, you know, like pushing me and manipulating me every single day, every single conversation, and I finally had enough. Should I get into the Logan shit now? Yeah. Okay. And then one weekend, he was going to like this lodge or something. He's gonna go snowboarding with his friends, and I was like, oh, I want to go, because like I was part of the group. I thought it was normal. And he was like, oh no, you need to like stay here. And there was no one else. Everyone in the house was going with them. And then I was like, well, why can't I go? He was like, oh, well, there's this girl going and I really want to have sex with her and I just don't want you to like get in the way of that or whatever. And I was like, I can't just go and like have fun and sit on the couch like everyone's leaving town. And then he's like, no, like you're not allowed to go. So he went with all my friends, left me, and then I was so pissed off. I was so fed up. I was so hurt. I was so disgusted. I just was at my breaking point. And then I hit up Logan and I was like, yo, like, let's hang out. And then we all went to a club, like a bunch of our friends together. And then me and Logan hooked up. And I don't even feel comfortable saying that out loud. Like, I'm still disgusted by it. Because it's not who I am. Like, shaking. And it's not who I ever wanted to be, but it happened.
To me, it kind of makes sense, even just hearing you say that, because like, I always found that story scary and crazy and gross because it was Logan. And like, you, in my head, I didn't villainize you really because I was like, oh, it's this broken girl in a toxic relationship and she's like manipulative to match other people's manipulation and like whatever. I'm grossed out that like Logan was like okay with doing it because that's his brother. That was my whole like, woo.
Yeah. Hook up with him. Sorry, Mom. I'd hook up with him. I would leave to go to my friend's house for like an hour, 2 hours. I'd come back and then all of a sudden knock on his door, be like, hey, like, and then open up, there'd be a girl in there and they'd literally be fucking right after we hooked up. And that happened not once, not twice, not 3 times, like so many times I've lost count. They kept so much money from me when I left and I was a bitch to get back. We texted after and we were like, I was like, please don't ever like tell Jake, I don't ever want this to get out, like it was so stupid. And he was like, listen, like I'm a savage, I'm a maverick.
Oh, fuck.
They're always trying to one-up each other, always. Like, so like I was just like a goal, like I was just used the whole time. In Team 10, in videos, in Logan's videos, and everyone's, I was just like, I don't know, it was like they're playing a game, and they're like the chess masters or whatever, and I was just a little pawn. I was so worried about people calling me a whore and calling me all these names, but like I know I'm not. Like I've only had intimate relations with like a handful, not even a handful of people. Like I know I'm not a slut, so it's like why should I care what other people think?
He overly made it like you not look bad. Like he was very clear to overly like be like I was the worst to her, I was the worst to her, I deserved it. But I genuinely, it felt genuine that he was like actually hurt.
Yeah.
Like he was like, well, it was just really sad. It was the first time I saw him like, I was like, oh,
Who cares?
I got somewhere. Yeah, I was like, oh, like his brother hurting him actually did hurt him. Like take you out of the equation and take all the craziness out. It like, that was a real thing. Jake has feelings. There's somewhere in there, right?
Yeah.
And then it was just, we all saw like a change in Jake, like a genuine one, where we're all like, it was like a very, and I was like voicing him every day, and it was like, I felt like, oh, this is
that took me a lot longer for me to forgive him.
What did he say? Like what? And he's not here to defend himself or whatever, and I'm not throwing him under the bus, but I just want to know, like, what, how do you even have a conversation like that?
Yeah.
What this whole experience has shown me is like, there's so many sides to everything, but also there's like, I almost feel like everybody's on the same level, kind of like...
Just owning up to their shit. Yeah.
And just like living and moving on.
I like gained 30 pounds, literally. And it's like, I just started working out again, I just started vlogging again, and I just started like slowly getting my feet wet again, but it's just, I feel like I was running away. Like I told you. I just feel like there was always like a cloud over my head. And I just never felt like I was strong enough to like come out and tell my story. But now I feel like better.
What do you think's gonna happen with him, with everything?
Prison? I'm just kidding. There's never a dull moment.
How am I gonna pick a squad?
Y'all can't handle this. Y'all don't know what's about to happen, baby. Team 10.
Los Angeles, Cali boy. But I'm from Ohio though, white boy. It's every day, bro, with the Disney Channel flow.
I want a whole cake after this is over. I'm like nervous.
I don't know about the food.
This is the real Jake Paul right here. The first like 2 years that we were working and living together, I had like a serious boyfriend. Hey.
Did you miss me?
Yeah.
I missed you too.
And I like couldn't, I love you now, but like I couldn't like stand him because I was working for him, you know what I mean? Like, it was like, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
great.
When, no, like.
Yeah, I didn't like you either.
No, you know what I mean. Like,
that actually built a strong foundation though.
It did.
Well, it's weird because like, I never like thought of her in that way.
Never.
And then like one day like.
We spent so much time together too, like for like 2 years, like every single day for like 12
But one day like we woke up and like, I was like, damn, she's hot.
And then
that was,
Because when you look at it, everybody is kind of on the same level on all sides. It's like, yes, you know, Alyssa cheated on you and all of that stuff that we'll talk about. What brother would fuck their brother's ex? That doesn't even make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Is that something I shouldn't bring up? Like, what was his reaction to that?
Bo.
Not good.
No.
Not good.
No. I don't know if that is something you should bring up.
But then you could also say, well, but Jake probably did this. Jake probably did that. So it like balances each other out.
I'm so annoying. Wanna take two.
Oh yeah! It's like, yes, this person might have lied about this situation, whatever.
Because Jake, you're abusive. And you physically abused Alyssa?
But then on the other side of it, it's like,
He's not like a physical abuser, like he's not an abuser.
Erica has things too.
She knows everything that I went through. And like, she's just super hypocritical.
Everybody says that this happened,
Like 100% proven that Vinny Spence was innocent. And he never removed the video.
I feel like it's just everybody has made their career based on drama, controversy, beef, views.
Look, I'm excited for the rest of this series. I literally have no idea what it's about or where it's going.
And you've been very honest about that. Like, yeah, I wanted to be famous. I wanted to be on Twitter news. I wanted to do all these things, and it worked.
Basically anything I do now gets picked up in the press. All press is good press. Right.
But the side effect of that is it kind of puts everybody in the same place of like a mess.
Yeah. For me, like that, I feel like that's why I kind of like never talked about a lot of the controversies was because I told you yesterday, I was like, I just feel like it would just be like me ranting and like trying to defend myself and it wouldn't seem like real or authentic, you know what I mean? And like people, even if I was telling the truth, like I don't know, I just didn't feel right about like trying to like respond or like have my side of the story out there. I was bullying them, or for them to say that, it's like we both would film videos all the time, like tell each other that we were gonna like prank each other before we even did it. I think sometimes there was a language barrier when we would like be joking around, like off camera. A lot, like sometimes I would see them like get mad at me, but I would always try to fix it and like.
You know what it is? No. It's a busted.
Yeah, busted no. I'm actually proud of you. That's good. I like to make fun of you, but you guys are actually good. Again, I don't know why everything got so malicious with that. Like
for me, when I was a kid and I grew up in a household where there was no line. I mean, it was aggressive. The jokes were crazy. It was offensive. And I'm not saying it's good. I wouldn't raise my kids that way, especially now. But that's where I came from, right? So when I started YouTube and I started saying jokes and I started saying things with my friends and stuff, I didn't know it was too far. I didn't know where the line was. And I quickly realized, and it kind of fucked my life up, basically. I'm assuming...
Yeah, like our friend group is very much like kind of that same way, like the way we were raised, like it was.
Hello, who want chicken fried rice? We got chicken fried rice.
Crazy, like there was like no line, like very like high school locker room type like vibes. Like you can say anything, people are saying the most messed up things, and that's like how I was raised. And like I think the Martinez twins, like I said, came into that environment where it was like me, my best friend Anthony, my best friend Chance. Anything was a joke to us. Literally, we would greet each other. Like the Martinez twins would walk into the house, like, and if we were all sitting there, they'd be like, "What's up, crackers?" And like, they'd like call us like stupid like white people, and like they call us like stupid Americans. We're like, "But what up, beaners?" Like we would just like give it back, like bros being bros.
I think that experience made you change a little bit, because I didn't notice any of that. Granted, I was there was a camera, whatever, but did that experience be like, oh, there is this line?
100%. Like like those words wouldn't even like come out of my mouth, because I'd, till this day, like I'd be scared like someone just even saying that I said something bad. You have to find out where that line is. And like I said, like growing up, my parents, or mainly my dad, like there was no line with jokes or anything. And I definitely learned from that situation, like not everyone's gonna joke around the same way. And even if they are joking around, they might not actually be okay with like that environment. Yeah. And like I took them out of there, like I saw potential in them, brought them to the United States, literally taught them like how to speak English.
There's a station, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See how like normally you'd say there is castle? There is a castle. Yeah. Well, bro, it's I'm actually like,
thanks, man. I'm the best.
Gave them a place to stay, and then like they go and say that I bullied them, like, and was racist, like when I was like the first person that they would ever even like feel comfortable to speak English with. Like, I don't know.
I wouldn't do that. Nah, man. We love you. You're my big brother, man.
Wait, these are the fake ones.
That's why I'm mad about it, because
real. Was that a tear? Oh, baby. Oh. I love you, bro. It looks good in my hand.
To me, on my end, it's like I loved them as like little brothers, and like it was more than just like me helping them get followers.
Why do you think people hate you or instantly don't like you?
I think there's a lot of reasons. A lot of my fans like skew younger, so I think like the older generation watches my videos, they don't like my videos, they think like they're just like garbage and like cringy and all that stuff.
She's gonna break the world record for most dabs in a minute. Let's go.
Two, like I have gotten into a lot of shit that would make people be like, this kid's a jackass. Like standing on top of the news van, like at the time I watched the video back and like I thought it was the funniest thing in the world. I still think it is, like, because that's like my personality, but like watching that from like an outside perspective,
what are those?
And like detaching myself from it, like I look like a fucking douchebag. As like the list of controversies piles up, and there just began to become this like bandwagon of like, fuck Jake Paul. And once that momentum like goes, it's hard to do anything to reverse that. And
I lived next door to that. I would like I would not fuck with you. I would be like, this sucks, fuck this guy, this, imagine like all these people on the street all the time, fucking news, all this shit. So I was seeing that side of it, but I don't know if even to this day you really like see that side. What are your thoughts on it?
No, I get it. The neighbor situation, again, like it just spiraled out of control. No one ever communicated to me their problems. It was always like, oh, let me go talk to the news station, or let me go talk to like the paparazzi. But no, the neighbors never said, Jake, like, can you not do this? Can you not do that? And
have you ever talked about how the address got leaked? Because I don't think I've ever heard.
No. So I don't think it's ever been talked about. One of the employees was trying to get Team 10 set up on some Google account. He put an address in, and it was the actual address of the house, not like the accountant's office or anything like that. He didn't know. It was an unfortunate situation. Then when you type in Team 10, the house address came up.
For what reason, I don't know. Like they just started showing up, and it became like a thing for people to come to our house. Really the only solution was for us to leave, which we tried to do as fast as possible. And when we did leave, that solved it, you know? So yeah. The height, like no YouTuber had ever like blown up that fast. And it's like, I'm not gonna stop. Not gonna stop doing my job because my neighbors are pissed, to be honest. Like,
yeah. And did you think the other thing is like the recklessness, right? For example, this is a personal thing, I've never talked about it, but one of my friends who's pregnant was walking across the parking lot, and you were driving and all your friends were in the car, and I don't think you were even vlogging, but you guys were just being crazy in the parking lot, and you like almost hit her. And she called me and she was freaking out, she was pissed, and she works in the internet world, and she was like, that fucking Jake Paul kid literally almost fucking killed me, my baby. I'm so fucking pissed. Like, what do I do? Like, I'm so fucking pissed right now. And I was just like, whoa. So I think it's one of those things where I don't think you would do that stuff now, from what I saw yesterday. But why do you think you were doing stuff like that at that time?
I was like growing like crazy and like making a ton of money off of like, I was just having fun and like doing whatever I wanted, and like that was like the momentum behind like my channel was like kind of like rebellious, and like no one's ever done this crazy type of shit before, and like this is new. And I think that's why I grew so fast, is because people would just be watching and be like, this is out of control, but it's like so entertaining, and like this kid will do anything.
I mean, I think even just hearing you say that and being like, listen, I didn't give a fuck, having fun with my friends, getting views, that at the moment meant more to me than, you know, I wasn't fucking thinking about others. I was thinking about myself. And, you know, did your parents ever step in and say, like, when things were getting really crazy, or when you were doing things that were like, whoa, did your parents ever step in and be like, don't do that? Why are you doing that?
I don't think my parents saying anything would have like stopped anything though, to be honest.
Yeah.
And I think they might have known that, who knows, but
people basically think that you're manipulating young people, kids watching, to spend their money on you, to buy your merch.
All right, Ben, we need to sell some merch, you know? You're cute, so they'll buy the merch if you wear it. I'm gonna need you to put this on and go in front of the camera, okay?
So I'm curious, like, what your reaction is when people say that's, like, crazy.
Honestly, I think it's fucking stupid that people think that's manipulative.
Well, you spoke your truth on that, and I think we should respect that. Psychologically, what it looks like to me, and when I watched that video, I agreed with what he was saying.
Younger viewers are unlikely to understand the difference between advertising and entertainment.
But I agreed with it because I'm a 30-year-old guy who, I just get that, right?
There's some legitimate brainwashing going on. It's very predatory on these kids.
You, and I don't mean this as an insult at all, but I don't know if you know what's right or wrong with a lot of things, and I think you are kind of emotionally and in other ways stunted as a kid, and you show that in a lot of ways with like the crazy things you're doing, and like just the house and the Legos in the wall, and like always wanting friends around, and always wanting like attention, and always like doing these crazy things. And
yo, we're making snow cones.
Okay. Buying these crazy toys and like buying, you know, it's very much like, once again, I think you're very smart. I'm not saying you're stupid, but I don't think you are this evil genius who like knows how to manipulate kids. So I agree, I don't think you're purposely doing that, but I don't think you know why it is wrong. It's not a fuck Jake Paul thing. It's a, would I want my kids watching that thing? It's like, is it right to constantly tell kids to buy this thing? And I'm not telling you to change it or telling you to stop promoting your merch or any of that. I'm just telling you where those people are coming from when they say that. Because I'm not a fuck Jake Paul person at all. But I also see, like, yeah, writing a song about fuck teachers is like not cool.
But I didn't do that. I basically made a song like, nothing my teachers taught me in school do I utilize in my day-to-day life. At least from my experience, like they were like, Jake, you're never gonna become shit. Jake, what are you gonna do in Vine Days? Like, Jake, like you have to learn how to speak this in French. But like, why would, like, I don't know, like.
Because you and your teacher didn't get along or something, I don't know. Go figure. Anyway, so he called me yesterday. He's the principal at the high school now, and he wondered if maybe you would be interested in speaking at the commencement in June.
I think a lot of kids did relate to that song, and like, I relate to that song, and like I wish my teachers did teach me.
Teachers teach subjects, right? English, math, whatever, all those things, which you do use in everyday life. So to say you don't use any of it, it's like not true. So the things that you wanted teachers to teach you, that you think they didn't teach you, in all honesty, are things that it's not the teacher's job, it's the parent's job. And
I was gonna make it to part 2 called My Parents Never Talk.
and that's the fucking truth,
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
like
no.
a teacher shouldn't have to tell you not to blow up your backyard. A teacher shouldn't have to tell you not to promote merch to kids. That's all things that happen at home, and you know, and that's the truth of that.
Yeah.
I just don't know who's around being like, don't post that. The only advice I'd give on that is like, I think going forward, you might need to have somebody that you hire or somebody around you to be like, hey, no, that's gonna get twisted, don't post that. Or hey, let's not really shoot that music video. That's a little too far. Because that's what they have on TV. They have standards of practice. They have that kind of stuff on YouTube. You don't. So that will save you from a lot of shit. Because we've seen before on YouTube, like, we wish there would have been somebody around saying, you can't post that. Okay, this thing is a big one. And it's something that we talked about a lot when we weren't filming yesterday. And it also, to me, kind of explains a lot. One of the first big situations that happened that kind of made everybody not like you was Alyssa Violet, your ex-girlfriend, supposed ex-girlfriend. She said she got kicked out, she was mad, she made a whole long video about it, she showed Snapchats of all her stuff like in boxes, and I even remember when I saw that I was like, whoa. I was like, this is fucking crazy, like what is this? And that was very much like one of the first things I heard about you.
Yeah.
So there's a lot to that story. I don't know how much you want to go into, but I think you should.
It's hard for me to talk about, for many reasons, and like one of them is like I don't like start shit again, just because like I'm so like I hate the drama now. Like it's like so overplayed, and like you, I've met with Banks in person, and like we've both said out loud like, if it weren't for this situation, like we would probably be homies. But where do I start?
What is your fear about talking about this?
My fear with talking about it is like, it's such like a sticky situation, and like if I talk about it, like it's just gonna like bring up all the shit again, and a lot of the reason why I didn't talk about the situation, or like my side of the situation, is like to defend my brother.
I know the fear of like, oh, if I talk about this, then maybe it'll start another beef and a battle. From what I've heard, they don't want that. I think they're wanting to move on. And I think they probably are going to understand like that this is necessary to talk about. And also, this is something that is kind of public knowledge. It's like there's been news stories about it and stuff. You tweeted something and then deleted it. When I found this out, I was like, whoa. How is Jake not more fucked up? Like, it was crazy, right?
Alyssa and I always like really liked each other. We were always like dating, but like not really. Like, were we a thing? Yes, we were a thing. One day we're not, one day we were. It was a very like rocky like sort of relationship. I wasn't at the time mature enough to know like how to be a boyfriend.
What did you do to piss her off?
It was a combination of things. Like I did, like again, like it was just me like not knowing how to treat her. Like me just being like mean towards her, or like saying things in an argument that like would piss her off. Even business things, because she was like a part of Team 10. When we would like not be dating, like I would go and talk to other girls, and yes, she would go talk to other guys, but I think everything just like added up, and it was like this like really bad situation. I think like if someone sat down and talked to her to like today, she would say like it was just a terrible situation. Like we were living together, we were doing business together, we were dating, we weren't dating. I was like her like manager basically. Like it was just a terrible situation. She came up with a plan in her head that like she wanted to make me feel the way that, or she wanted me to feel the way that she felt, because she thought that I like hurt her so much, and she wanted me to feel that same pain. And so I think out of spite, she began a relationship with my brother behind my back, like without me knowing about it, and it was a sexual relationship, and that was like her way of like hurting me and like getting revenge for the way that I hurt her. Someone needs to tell you. And like Nick was standing right there, and the person who was telling me, and I was like, what's going on? And he was just like, Alyssa and your brother have been having sex. Like my mind was going like a million miles per hour, and it kind of like immediately, like without asking him why he thought that or like what the clues were, how they even found that out, I was like, yes, like in our fucked up relationship, like we did a lot of messed up things to hurt each other, but like that to me was like just like that was it for me. I was like, I don't want to look at this girl. I can't believe this. Like I don't even really want to like talk to her.
I don't want this to be like a fuck Alyssa, thing where we're throwing her under the bus, whatever. And you said you did things to hurt her too. But I do want to say, from an outside perspective, my brain can't process this in your brother doing that. So I think
that was like literally the reaction like you're having right now is like what happened to me. Like I sat there for like 3 hours like silently. I don't know. I couldn't process it either. Like I had so many questions. Like I wanted to like punch my brother in the face.
This is something that I don't think that many people in the world have gone through, and nobody really would know how to process this. And also, just because you're Jake Paul and people hate you and you've done whatever shit, like, it doesn't mean that you're not allowed to fucking process this and talk about it and figure it out. Because, like, what that is, no matter what bad stuff you did, you're allowed to feel like that was probably one of the most fucked up things ever. Did you talk to your brother? How did you get over this, / are you not over this?
No, I'm over it. I like don't like to, like, me as a person, like I don't want to like hold grudges against people. Alyssa wanted me to find out about it, and she wanted me to have the reaction that I did, and that was like her way of like hurting me, and I think she wanted to like try like to split Logan and I up. And if I just like let that, like, it gave me so many trust issues.
Yeah.
But for me, I was like, if I just let this like manipulate my life, then like I'm giving her like what she wanted. Mm-hmm. Like if I let this like affect me and like ruin my life and I just like become depressed and like sad about it, like then she won. For my brother, I think that's where I was more disappointed. And I talked to him, and that took me a lot longer for me to forgive him.
What did he say? Like what? How and he's not here to defend himself or whatever, and I'm not throwing him under the bus, but I just want to know, like, what, how do you even have a conversation like that?
Yeah. He basically said, his thing was like, oh, I didn't think that you guys were actually like a thing. And that like you guys were like actually dating.
You know, you found this out and then she kept living there, right? She didn't want to leave.
Yeah, so
and she was there for a while.
So I after I found out, I confronted her about it, and when I confronted her about it, she like admitted to it, but then I was like, you live in my house, I just don't want to be around you, like I'm so hurt by this. If you could have like move out and like find a place to stay in the next 30 days, that'd be better for both of us. Like just take 30 days and find somewhere else to stay. Like I just don't want to like be around you. Like I forgive her, honestly. And I forgave my brother like a lot sooner. It took me a while, and like I don't think she or Banks, like I haven't told that to them, but like I forgive her, and like I also like apologize to her because like it was just such a bad situation. Like we drove each other like mad. Like no one in the situation is innocent.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I don't want you to feel like you have to forget it and move on so fast, and because like you have every right to take your time with that and feel that, because that is like, I don't even know how you can be in the same room as your brother, at least not for a long time, and or like that. I'm gonna say something and we can cut it, but I feel like you care a lot about your brother. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to see that you and your brother went through some shit. I understand not wanting to lose him and lose that relationship, and like oh my god, I literally don't even know. It's so, my brain isn't processing it. I don't want to feel like I have to like, it's like a weird situation, right? Where it's like, you don't want to piss anybody off, but also like, this was a catalyst for so many things. Like, everybody thinks you kicked her out and it was this and that, but cut to her with your brother. And also, you don't really have that many people around you that you probably can trust, and he's your brother, and now you can't even trust your own brother, but like, he's your family, so what the fuck do you do? Like, this is all stuff that I wanted to talk to you about, because
I didn't know what the fuck to do. I was like, it was the most alone I ever felt in my life.
I see, thumbnails, right, on YouTube, like, oh, reacting to my brother, or kissing, Jake's girlfriend or whatever. I assume it's fake. I assume it's drama.
Real.
That, to me, is crazy, and also explains a lot.
Yeah.
Because how the fuck how are you even okay now? I honestly, keeping it real, I don't think you are.
And I have a lot of trust issues from it. Like I don't trust like anybody. And so like Erica had to like come into my life to like teach me how to like love and trust again. And
nobody can be hurt or mad at you for fucking talking about your shit, telling the truth, talking about what you've been through. have you talked to your brother and stuff about like the fact that it might come up at some point again? Like when he sees this, are you gonna be like scared, like, oh, I don't want him to be mad, because like...
Yeah, part of me is like, yo, he's probably gonna be pissed about this, but I think he also understands that like he did it and like and that he fucked up too. So like,
yeah. The assault situation. You and FaZe off camera talked about it, but he says like, oh, Jake said he'd come out and apologize, and that was the deal. Like he kind of says something about it, and I don't press charges, I don't say anything, and then it's all gone. But you never really did. And also the video that you guys made is still up. So I think that's something we should talk about. Super honest. At this point, I'm pretty sure there has been no lies. It's been very blunt and real about everything. So here's your chance now. Let's do it. What actually happened? Why didn't you come out and say something and apologize if you did have any hand in it, or even say anything? And why is the video still up?
so basically she explained to me in detail that Banks like grabbed her by the neck, like tried to like choke her or something. She saw him making out with a girl.
He's hooking up with that other girl, and that's not Alyssa.
She had like voice memos and like things from the night that she sent to Erica, basically explaining like the situation like right after it happened. And like you could like hear the fear and stuff in her voice, and there was like no reason in my head like not to believe her. And I was like, wow, this is like the dude who is dating like my ex-girlfriend. Like part of me is like, yeah, like let's like expose this and like make him look bad. And obviously there was like so much beef between us at the time, and like there's beef with like Rice Gum, there's beef between me and Alyssa. Both parties like hated each other, and I decided to like make it into a video. It was not what should have been done, but it was a decision like that I made in that moment to do. And again, I had like no reason not to believe her. Out of like all of the shit that like I've done, like this was like I feel so stupid even just like talking about this situation now. And like I handled it like the completely wrong way, and it's something that should have never been put online. So like I feel dumb like even trying to like explain like my justification for it.
So when you and him talked about it, why didn't you publicly say like, I fucking shouldn't have done that was stupid?
That's a good question. Like I don't have a good answer. Like maybe part of me was like, I don't want to bring this up again. By the time we met up and talked about it, like it was already had dissipated. I felt like maybe it would just bring up that topic again. Banks and I talked about it in person, like resolved it, and like I think he's a good person, and like we've both grown so much and learned a lot from that.
Yeah. Do you have a reason for it still being up?
No.
Like why wouldn't you take it down? Why wouldn't you private it?
I never even thought about it. Like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you don't have to lie. You just be like, I don't think about it.
No, yeah, I didn't think about it. I don't know if that would. I think the damage was already done, so many people had already seen it. And by the time like.
All right. I think something that's interesting that like I've just never really heard you talk about, the effects of the Suicide Forest video and the effects it had. Because we've heard what it did to Logan, we've heard his side and his apology and how it really did fuck up his fucking business and everything, right? I haven't really heard about how it affected you and yours, because a lot of people think you're the same person.
Yeah. It like dramatically affected my business. It dramatically affected press, everything. Like probably the same, just as much as it affected him. Because like you said, people think we're the same person, and you know we do similar things. We're in the same industry, but you know we're different people, and when that happened with him, like my name just got looped into everything. It was like Logan Paul did this. He also has a brother that is known for like controversial stuff, and yeah, really messed up things from an advertising standpoint to a brand deal standpoint to even just like how, yeah, like the public views like the Paul brothers, you know. An emotional standpoint, like I think I learned a lot from the situation as well. Like it was a lot to go through for like our family just in general. Like it definitely brought us like a lot closer together.
Did you know that the video was gonna go up? Did you know about it before?
He told me what happened, and he was like, bro, I just did like the craziest thing just happened. He was just like, yeah, blah, 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 and he was like, and he like explained it like very briefly, and I was like, oh, like you're posting that? And that was like literally the first thing I said to him over the phone. And I didn't like know what the video was or like what it looked like, or like I didn't even know like how much he even filmed. And
what did you think when you saw it?
I didn't watch it until like after like people were posting the clips, because he like had deleted the video, so I only saw like clips of like what everyone was posting online, you know what I mean? I was shocked. Yeah.
Have you still not seen the full thing?
The full video? No. I don't want to
talk about it, or is it just something you're just like, this is too confusing, I don't want to talk about it?
It's, for me, it's a little bit of that. Yeah, it's like this is too much, and like he learned his lesson. I think it made him a lot better of a person, honestly. And for me, yeah, I don't like to talk about it, because literally that's like all everyone wants to talk about when they talk about Logan Paul, or even me. It's like that's all everyone wants to talk about.
What I will say is this: now it's almost like starting over. What do I actually like doing, and what do I want to do now?
Yeah, 1000%. Like that's why I'm on like this like vacation thing right now. Like I did this boxing thing and like all this, you know, like hype and whatnot, but like for me, that's why I want to like completely disconnect from like all of this social media shit right now, is like to figure that out. Like what do I really like to do? Like what do I really want to do? Like what's next for me? It's like you said, like it's like starting over. It's like a new it's like a new chapter of like at least my life, where it's like I made all of these mistakes. I have all of this knowledge now. I have like made a name for myself, and like, but now it's like, yeah, like what am I gonna do with that?
So my producer, Katie, yesterday was actually a therapist, and the whole day she was really just like watching you and talking to you and just like seeing you off camera and just like seeing what you were like, because the whole point was like, is he a sociopath?
So she was actually secretly a therapist? Yeah. Did you know that?
Yeah, remember when we were
I told her that.
No.
You probably don't even know what it is.
A sociopath?
Yeah.
I don't think I know the exact definition, but it's not good.
That's perfect.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Alright, let's
Wait, but so did she say anyone was a sociopath in our group?
We'll talk about that in the next video.
Fuck. Did she? My dad definitely like helped when I needed him, and like he was someone I could trust as I was bringing in new business people, but I basically I told him like weeks ago that that he should go back to Ohio, and like we should just go back to like he should just be my dad, and like we could just like have like a normal father-son relationship, and like and bond like over the stuff that we love. Like we both love off-roading, we both love cars, we both love motorcycles. Like that's the relationship that I love with my dad, and like I told him, I was like, we're both gonna be happier.
What's tea? And I say shit over it.